Hey, what's up YouTube? Down the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I'm excited to bring to you some coverage and unboxing of the Xiaomi Note 5A Prime. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the description if you're interested in checking out this device. You can pick it up right now at gearbest.com for around $130. Now, if you want to go with the slightly lower spec version of this device, the Note 5A is available for actually around $90, which is a fantastic deal. Also a very good phone. We'll talk about some of the differences between the two, and if you're willing to spend a little bit of extra money, I would definitely recommend the Redmi 5 Plus. This one you can actually pick up for around 180 bucks or so, but again, links will be down in the description for all of these. So this is the Note 5A Prime, kind of an interesting device because it kind of falls in between that cheaper 5A and the more expensive 5 Plus, which by the way is the one I would recommend if you can spring that extra money. But let's go ahead and talk about what this thing has to offer. So let's go ahead and unbox it. You can see down here there's some specs. We'll talk about those specs in just a little bit. For all three versions of the phone, there is a global ROM, so I'm only picking up the global ROM simply because those work best in the US. All of them have Band 4, which works really well for me where I live with T-Mobile. It doesn't work as well with Cricket Wireless, so that's just something worth mentioning. If you are somebody on AT&T, you won't get as good a coverage, at least I don't get as good a coverage with that. So on T-Mobile, I get very good coverage though. So this is the actual device. Just as a comparison, this is the 5 Plus. So you can see they're pretty much the same size device. Now, this one has a 6-inch display and the Snapdragon 625 processor. Over here on the 5A Prime, I'm going to go ahead and power it on. We have a Snapdragon 435 processor, which is the same as the 425, but with 8 cores or an octa-core processor versus the quad-core processor. So that's the main difference between the 425, Snapdragon 425 and the Snapdragon 435. Now, if you get the 5A without the Prime, that comes with 2 gigs of RAM and the Snapdragon 425, whereas this one comes with 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of onboard storage, and the Snapdragon 435. Another thing that kind of steps up with this device is you get a 16 megapixel camera up front versus on the regular 5A you only get a 5 megapixel camera. So you can see it's already updated to MIUI 9, so I'll go ahead and kind of run through some of this stuff here in just a little bit, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and see what you get in the box. So there it is, the 5A Prime. Now with the 5 Plus, it came with a case and a screen protector. So the screen protector was actually already on it, but it also came with a case, whereas it looks like with this one we're not getting that. We do also have micro USB, which happens to be the case on the, can't see it there, but the 5 Plus also has micro USB, so that's a slight negative. So micro USB, it does come with, I believe, a fast charger. Let's go ahead and check it out. So we have, just for the specs, see if I can get that into focus here. Alright, so it looks like we have a 2 amp fast charger with this. Now, this is the European Union version of the charger, so if you're going to use it in the US, you will want to get some kind of an adapter for it. But yeah, a little bit disappointed it doesn't come with a case, but that's fine. You're only paying $130 for it. So as far as the build quality goes, here we have the same kind of metal back that we get with these other devices. So it is metal here, so aluminum, and then you have kind of the plastic up top and on the bottom. So I just want to make a quick correction about the build quality of this device. So originally I thought that this was a plastic down here at the bottom with metal, and then plastic again up here at the top, and you can tell definitely that the outside is plastic, but actually upon further inspection I believe the whole back is actually plastic. So they have the same kind of build as what you get on the 5 Plus. The difference is with the 5 Plus you do actually have the metal in the middle. So we do have plastic up here, plastic down here, but all of this is metal, and along the side you get metal. So definitely a more premium build on the 5 Plus, which is expected when you're paying a little bit more. So that is something I wanted to just correct, because this is definitely a plastic device all the way around. We have our power and volume rocker here, so Nice design. Obviously, one thing you will notice right off the bat is the giant bezels on this device. So that's true also of the 5A. We do have, I believe, some capacitive buttons. I can actually feel them kind of working right now. So there are capacitive buttons down here at the bottom. And then on the rear, of course, we have our fingerprint sensor. Now on the 5 Plus, it is crazy fast. So we'll have to test that out here in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the phone set up, and we'll talk more about this in just a little bit. One other thing I want to mention before I do that, though, is we do have, I believe, a 13 megapixel camera on the rear here with the 5A Prime. Alright, so one thing of quick note here, as I'm setting this up, I just wanted to note that there is no dual band Wi-Fi, so if you have dual band at home, you are only going to get the 2.4 gigahertz. So one other quick thing I wanted to note as I'm getting this thing set up is the fact that not only does this have dual SIM, but we do also have a spot for a micro SD card. So that's kind of rare. Oftentimes we have that hybrid setup where you have to use the SD card slot as a SIM tray or an SD card, where here we actually have dual SIM plus an SD card slot. So that's kind of cool, so thumbs up to Xiaomi on that one. Alright, so I got that fingerprint sensor all set up. I'm going to go ahead and show you just how fast this fingerprint sensor is. So we're going to turn the phone off, or turn the screen off anyways, and 3, 2, 1. Well, I did that a little too fast, but you can just see how fast that's going. And another thing worth mentioning here is the fact that with that fingerprint sensor, I was allowed to actually register the same finger twice. So some phones will let you do that, some phones won't. I do appreciate it when they do allow that, and in this case, with the Redmi 5A Prime, they do allow you to register the same fingerprint twice. So very, very fast fingerprint sensor, just like all of the other Xiaomi Redmi 5 line phones. So that's awesome. Alright, so a few things I've noticed while I'm getting this thing set up. So first of all, I want to mention that we do have an update here right when I got into the device. So we have MIUI 9.2.3, so thumbs up to Xiaomi for keeping up with their updates on this device. Another thing here to mention, and I already kind of mentioned this, but we do actually get T-Mobile. It says 4G, but that's actually LTE, so I get LTE speeds with this, no problem whatsoever. Another thing is the fact that this has a IR blaster. So just like the 5 Plus had the IR blaster up here, we do have that on the 5A Prime. So that was a bit of a surprise. You can see down here we have our speaker, and this is actually the microphone, and then we do have a headphone jack as well, so similar to what you get on the 5 Plus. Now, one thing I did realize that I forgot to mention earlier is the fact that this has a 3080 mAh battery, whereas on the 5 Plus you get a whopping 4000 mAh battery. So battery life on this device is absolutely insane, and so if you can spend the extra money, the 5 Plus, I can't say it enough, but that is a fantastic device for under $200. So for $130 you get the 3080 mAh battery on this device. So obviously at this point I can't really tell you what that's going to be like, but I'm assuming it will probably be pretty decent. Now, one other thing I want to mention that's a little different with this one versus the 5 Plus is the fact that here we have a 720p display, so that's HD, whereas on the 5 Plus we have that HD Plus, or sorry, full HD Plus, because it is that stretched out 6-inch 18:9 aspect ratio, and we have full HD, so that's actually 1080p on this device. So I don't have it turned on at the moment, but just something worth mentioning there. So overall, this is so far I would say a solid device. It kind of falls somewhere in between that 5A that I mentioned for around 90 bucks that you can pick up right now, and this device right here for around 190. So this one falls kind of right there in the middle for around 130. But again, links will be down in the description for all three of them. If I could choose one, obviously I think the 5 Plus is the way to go. But we're going to do a lot of testing on this device just to see how it works out day to day, the battery life. We're going to check out those cameras, so definitely stay tuned, and also stay tuned because I am going to be giving this device, the 5 Plus, away on my channel real soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. Keep a lookout for that video, which will be coming out very, very shortly. But anyways, I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.